Okay, is my voice audible? There is a glitch. Okay. So yeah, just wait 1 minute. Let me set this file for yeah. JavaScript. Okay, we'll discuss that. We'll surely discuss that. Okay. Hmm. Just wait for a while. Let me just arrange this mess. Uh. Okay, just pop this screen for a while. Let me test. It works. Oh, okay. IP cam. Yeah. So just let me just close this up. Okay. So today's topic is a little bit about getting started with AWS itself. So how many people we have? Like, I have not really any idea. But okay. Anyways, so today's topic is, as you know by the thumbnail, we are going to talk about a little bit about AWS. How can you get started about it, and especially what is my journey regarding it. What were the challenges, what are the scenarios that you really need to deal about, and all that kind of thing. For those who really just kind of, I want to give a quick alert and suggestion that this ain't any tutorial itself, is just a random conversation between. If you want just not some sort of a tutorial or something, anything like that, it will come, definitely come in future. So just check up in the check up, look up for the description or in the iCard in the future as well. So it will get, this video will kind of get updated as well. So for those people who really don't know about AWS itself, we will talk about from the history itself to probably what it really means, and then again we'll kind of talk about what I'm really doing, what is my journey regarding it, and also we have really seen some sort of questions that will take it up, and surely like, hey, we will take this JavaScript. Okay. Yeah, though this topic is about AWS, but still, if you want, we can discuss about it in the later words as well. So let's start with AWS. As you can see above here uh, in this on my desktop, like this is the AWS website as well. So what it really is, so AWS is really one of the cloud provider itself. Now, what cloud provider essentially means, it really essentially means that it kind of gives you on-demand service about whatever you want, like pay for what you use, and you only just kind of you don't waste your money by I mean, you only pay for what you use. That means if you want to use some sort of like 10 GB, you will only pay for 10 GB itself. So earlier, what used to really happen is like, then there was a previous days like, hey, if you want to just kind of host your website as well, there was a really like Linux hosting from GoDaddy, BigRock, or HostingGator, or some sort of like that. Like they have a various plans of like a free tier, free tier, not a shared plan. So yeah, it would be great if we talk about some use cases and various services. Oh, sure, we can talk about it. Okay. Uh, so first of all, I'm really just right now discussing about the history about AWS. So essentially, what it was really previously, what we were used to have a free plan, a shared hosting, and then VPC as well. But the problem there was really arising is really like, you were unnecessarily paying too much itself, and the performance sometimes really get hit really well. So suppose if you got a GoDaddy hosting and really you have a shared plan itself. So within that shared plan itself, really some sort of a lot of people as well really have a virtualized container as well within that server itself. So whatever really happen, if another site really get a lot of traffic as well, even your site performance would really get hampered a lot of things. So so AWS, what essentially really does is it really provides you a really customized service for your own requirement. You only pay for what you use, and the performance issue that I really said, doesn't occur here, and the performance that you get is top notch really itself. And this cloud provider like AWS, Azure, or GCP as well, for that's from Google, they really deliver on their own performance itself. So what really happens is, if you really want to just kind of, let's say, you want only 10 GB RAM itself, you will go and let's say you will enter that, hey, I only want 10 GB itself. Whereas in the GoDaddy itself, what would really happen is, they will only give a fixed plan itself, whether you like it or not, whether your usage is suitable or not, whether your performance, they don't give any uptime guarantee as well, or some sort of, you know some sort of an assurance that, hey, our site will be uptime 24/7, 99% uptime as well. So these were the really problem out there that AWS essentially solves. And as compared to the pricing, AWS is literally like, you won't pay anything for, like, first year they have a free tier plan itself. Let's look upon it like, hey, what do you get from AWS? So if you go up right here, let's open this tab, aws.amazon. Yeah, this is one what we really want. So generally, if you really open any account with AWS itself, you really get, 99% this page will be available for you. If you are really if you're using an account with AWS itself, they kind of really know that it's kind of a little bit challenging for people to understand the taste and to get comfortable with the flavor of cloud as well. Sorry. Yeah, so they give you a gracious free tier of 12 months. They have over 60 page and products out there that is completely for free. Whether you want EC2, that is instance, then there is really, like, say, 5 GB of S3, and then, like, let's say 750 hours of RDS, and then DynamoDB, and then let's say SageMaker. It's a really pretty huge list. Like, there is a 6 page that I can really just go on and on and on as well. So uh, let's say, for example, like how I came acquainted with AWS itself. So as I really earlier said that, in 2018, I really started to just kind of acquainted with the programming itself. I started with JavaScript, like, for as I'm naturally kind of wanted to do AWS itself. So I came up with, like, hey, what is the best hosting plan out there? So, and I just kind of within that YouTube feed, I got to know about AWS itself. Like, this is the pre-major thing, and they have robust service, they have flexible plans, they have on-demand service, whatever you want, whatever the, let's say, whatever things that we require. And the plus point of using the cloud services is, like, let's say, for I want to really highlight one case of Hotstar itself. Now let's say Hotstar really sends a notification that today is India Pakistan match itself. Before that India Pakistan match, the live user was really around, let's say, 5 lakh only. And after sending a notification itself, the user base kind of grows up with a 50 lakh as well. So, the 10x growth within the sudden span of movement as well. So and that kind of, expansion, and that kind of, kind of really flexibility within that such short span of time, you won't get anywhere else. Like, forget about the GoDaddy or whatever you think about it. So these are the really advantages of cloud thing. And if you want to really start your own startup or really take a next corporation or company, then considering that AWS is really must for you, because, I don't think, like, hey, anyone would kind of provide such sort of an facility or some sort of an on-demand instance like anywhere else. And plus, if you really applying for the job as well, if you really want a cloud engineer, if you want to become a cloud engineer, a lot of startups and kind of companies as well, they have a really separate listing post for handling all these kind of stuffs as well, because it's a little bit tricky and challenging. I will get to that later words. So whatever we really do, where was yeah, so that predictability and scale. uh, so so we'll discuss about what AWS is, and pretty much regarding the services that we really choose upon. So as we go up right here, this is a page let's say, yeah, this is the console that I've really logged in up right here. So yeah, as I said that, yeah, what was that point? Okay. Hmm. So if you go up right there, this is all these services that you really need. But there is up right there, and you don't need to get overwhelmed by it. You will not need everything that is really mentioned up right there. Only for there are particular use cases, like AWS generally provides more than 160 services for your particular use cases. Let's say, for example, making website hosting, like data analysis, machine learning, game development, let's say like blockchain, AI, as like which I've mentioned already. And this is the kind of thing that it really provides up there, right there. So if you just kind of really ask me, like, what was the thing that why are we learning AWS? So in my opinion, I really want to start my own startup in next year. So as I really said, that it's really cost effective. It really is kind of provide much flexibility, and it has really pros and less cons regarding it. And that's why I'm really choosing up right there. So this video is generally a highlight that I really want to share, and pretty much everything that really I'm gonna describe about my journey, about how challenging it was. So properly, I really started to learn AWS around, I think, November 2019, so last year as well. So I really started out with what I needed to learn. So I compared out, there are majorly two services. This is EC2. Let me open this page. Now EC2 is just a bare instance, where you just kind of where you kind of let a rent server from AWS itself. You get a RAM, you choose a specific, let's say, RAM storage and operating system. There are various tiers like T2 micro, T2 like nano, and it really goes on as per your demand as well. The second thing that I really thought is like, hey, there is something, a service called Lambda as well. So AWS Lambda is a serverless thing. Now what serverless and instance really compares regarding? The instance is really like, you take this server which has 5 GB RAM, 50 GB storage. It has, like, let's say, two cores or four threads or something like that, Intel Core Duo or something like that. And let's say if it has Ubuntu operating system, and on the top of it you have installed Apache or Nginx server, and then you are hosting, and then you are running your, uh, you know, and then you are running your, let's say, application itself. And then what really happens is you are pretty limited to what it really offers. And then what it really means, let me just close this notification, it's just bugging me, sorry guys. uh, okay, so uh, yeah, so you are pretty limited to it. Now the problem really arises is that you need a constant maintenance of right there. You need to patch that server operating system, you need to update everything regarding that thing, and pretty much all that kind of sort of stuff. And most importantly thing, that if you are not guaranteed about whether you will become profitable or not, this EC2 isn't a really good service, considering in my opinion as well. And then what the counterintuitive offer is really like, that AWS Lambda is completely opposite exactly over that thing. Now what AWS Lambda is really mean, that the serverless thing, like, there is still a server, but the only thing is that you don't need to manage everything out right there. Everything is just taken care by AWS, like patching, operating system. You just put your code into their system, and then it will really host the API for you. uh, and so I really took up, like, let's say, for me, a cost was a really, major crucial factor for me. So if I really go up right there, EC2, let's say EC2 pricing is around, let's say if we go up right here, okay, let's say on demand pricing, if we click up right here. Why is it taking so long time? Okay. Okay, this is an issue. So as you can see, this is a Linux universal thing. Okay, data out. And yeah, there is a broadband charges regarding it, data transfer charges. So as you can see, this is around costed around point like 2 cents per hour itself. So if we really multiply it, let's say A1 multiply, let's say around, let's say it's just like open the calculator. My PC is kind of getting hanged. Hmm. Now, okay. So if you just let me just minimize this. So if you just kind of let me enter this 0.25 into 60, let's say into 24 into 30 days, and then what we get, a dollar of $18, and then multiplied with rupees around, let's say 75. That's what you really pay, around 1377 rupees for this pricing as well. Now, one thing that I really earlier said, that you need to be assure that you will really hit certain amount of traffic as well. In the business perspective, cost saving really matters a lot. So if you just kind of go up right here, there is, and this is just a bare instance, you will get just a 2 GB of memory, and then let's say if you want MySQL, you know, and then that is already another costing issue as well. So if you go up right here, let's say, this one USD's version I have said, it really charges around 20 cents per 1 million request. Now you can really grasp an idea, if you are a technical professional, you can really grasp how cheap it is. uh, I have really seen a video of Ben Awardley stating the like uh, a success story of like have I been pawned website. It's a website where you can really see whether your credentials have been lost or not. Now he was essentially demonstrating that the site eventually gets a millions of requests every single month as well. So if and they have chosen a serverless architecture as well, and their costing is around only $32 per month. And if they have gone with the traditional like instance based architecture on EC2 and really a instance based, then that would be a pretty huge challenging thing for them. It would have cost like thousands of dollars for them to maintain that site and run as well. So if we just kind of go and let's we compare about DocumentDB and DynamoDB as well. Although I have made a video on it, uh, this basic problem with the document DB as well, you need to pay a $200 upfront to use that service. Where in the case of DynamoDB, it's really charged really similar, like 0.25 dollar per million requests, and you get a 25 gigabytes of storage absolutely for free as well. So I have really just started to use that. So in my opinion, when I compared about both of these stance like EC2 and Lambda, let's say serverless. So I personally found out that serverless is much more easy in pricing, and you can scale on demand, and in future it's kind of getting cheap. But there is a catch here. Serverless isn't the answer for everything as well. So let's say if you are really a popular site like Netflix or Uber, Ola, Grab, Adobe, which this company are the customers of AWS as well, and you have a predictable workload as well. So in case of predictable workload, you can save a lot of money by using instance-based service, and it sounds like counterintuitive little bit, but that's what it really how it works. So And one thing is like if you want to really just kind of and use if you want to use machine for, so like let's say video streaming, data analysis, and then like let's say machine learning and artificial intelligence modeling, then serverless is a terrible model for you because it's really not meant to be handle that continuous stream of data as well. So serverless is based on event-driven architecture. It's really like when you just fire up things, then it really works essentially perfectly. And if you have something like event-based architecture, then only go with AWS. Like event-based something like let's say e-commerce site, a shopping site as well. Let's say social media site that really based on like CRUD operation basic thing, then that is really a possible scenario as well. So, and if you want, let's say if you are creating a streaming website, or let's say if you are really constantly exchanging the stream of data, or let's say probably I think a video, or let's say I said AI ML data, and then probably EC2 is much better option for you. But considering in my case, what I really saw that hey, I just want to create some sort of startup which could make people productive, and that really lies in a category of event-driven architecture. So I thought let's go with the serverless model itself. So serverless actually contained of three things as well. So I just said this is the Lambda, this is API gateway, and another thing is about DynamoDB. Let me just open this Dynamo DynamoDB. Okay, so if you open up right this one, this essentially makes up the serverless, the gist of all serverless. Although there is a cognito and there is you can use authentication like anything other than else. But what the challenges that I found, like hey, once I decided that hey, I just want to go with serverless. Now what? How will you learn this thing? I thought that it's easy. Like hey, we have learned like Mern stack, let's say React, Node, Express APIs, and how it really works. And then I thought like let's say we just kind of naturally integrate everything up right there. But everything, the parameter and the like paradigm, sorry, every paradigm is kind of different as well here. So if you just shake up right the scale up right here, this is I would really like to highlight one example over here. This repo, like let's say this is the fab code of one of my friend, Atharva Joshi. He like let's say why is it really opening? So as you can see, this is a normal typical Express application or Mern application itself. So as you can see that this is an he has used Express, he has used APIs, and then he set up this Mongoose, and then you can use this app.use middleware that naturally comes with API Express Gate. Sorry, that naturally comes with Express and then thing as well. But when you go come up right here and try to see this thing, let's open this fast. You can see that there is nothing a gist of A Express as well, and that kind of really confused a lot of people as well, including when I started out. Hey, what is this? Like I don't really understand the paradigm and mindset as well. So I would really like to first kind of give you a scenario about getting equipped with the mindset of serverless thing. Now what serverless really allows you, it's the all the part of routing and the APIs is really handled by the API gateway itself. And all the thing is really like, you just focus on the bare instance of the code itself. So if I really go up right here, let's say Lambda. Hmm. Hmm. So let's say like serverless. If I go to serverless AWS model. Hmm. Hmm. Let's take this one first. Okay, so so this is what you can really see, like, this is what the API gateway is. As you can see the cursor that is hovering around. So in natural express application, let's say you initialize the express, you define the route, and then route is really interconnected with all other components that you initially define as here. But here, you kind of really see that you kind of, if you see this around here, let me just create auction function, like let's say it's just loading. Okay, so this is up right here as well. So if you really see up that thing, you can really see that there is no express, no middleware, and no everything around. This is a completely new paradigm, and which currently right now even I'm struggling as well. So and everything that is really so as I really said that, let's come back over here. So you can see this is the basic pretty much architecture above right here. So whatever the React front-end code as well, you see you are really host in this S3 bucket above right here, and then you really just kind of deploy it on the, let's say, VM, or set up the backend logic in the API gateway on the Lambda itself. Now what Lambda is really means, so Lambda is essentially, as I said, it's a part of serverless framework or serverless architecture as well. You just deploy your code there and it will run flawlessly. And the DynamoDB, so what problems as I really faced up right there. So first of all, I really started out with DynamoDB, and then it is a completely new paradigm itself. So if we just kind of go up right here, let's say model view routes, the brand model view controller, brand controller. Hmm, Express Mongoose, right? And then brand routes. So let's see, where is the schema? Hmm. Okay, is const get router now. Where is that thing router get? Okay, model brand. This is what we want. Let's this one a little bit broader. So as you can see, it's pretty easy, right? You just set up the mongoose up right here. You initialize the schema, and then type what is your requirement. Like, hey, I want name, I want string, I want, you know, let's say 32 max length, and then required. And it this mongoose library is itself built in with the validator itself. So if you really want to remove malicious code or malicious, like a XSS attack, then it would really be helpful for you. But in the case of DynamoDB as well, you need to kind of really look up to various term, like, hey, there is a, like, it's a so first of all, I'd really like to mention that there is multiple branches of NoSQL as well. So one of the talk that I really mentioned is like, so in NoSQL really essentially any database essentially follows the CAP theorem, especially like in the particular case of NoSQL base, where the CAP is for consistency, A is for availability, and P is for performance as well. And everything that you really see, like let's say the I think the MongoDB really stands, it's an instance based database, so it really stands somewhere around, I think, C or P, uh, its performance as well. And it's a document store database, where in the case of, let's say, the case in the case of DynamoDB, it's a column based or the key based NoSQL database as well. So here you really kind of need to really just kind of take into consideration of read write unit, and let's say GSI, LXI, global secondary index, local secondary index, and all that kind of things. So it is pretty challenging enough if you really ask me. Like for the first 6 months, I was really not getting anything idea about what is in my head, about how I really wanted to wish, uh, how it should really work. And then right now I'm started to getting a some sort of gist regarding it. So for example, so as I really said about there is an API system regarding it. So one of the thing that I really focused in the DynamoDB as well. So in the case of what I really just told you, like let's say it has a validator itself. If it really satisfied, then it will pass in. Otherwise, it will throw you an error itself. But in the case of DynamoDB, I really didn't saw anything or any instructor telling all that kind of thing. The one of the major problem that I really see regarding all of these Udemy courses or YouTube tutorials that I really see, everyone is really like making basic CRUD application. No one is talking about the fundamentals or the mindset as well, because it takes a lot of time and effort to really just know about it. And probably they themselves might not even really understood the whole possibly around it, how it really works. So, I've really binging all the tutorials of all the things up right there. They use really automated services, they use everything up right there. But like, hey, talk about the fundamentals. Like, I'm really acquainted with the basics of Merge stack as well. And then I really need to know everything about this one. Let's say how should I fit my Express or Merge stack application into the Lambda as well. So there are a lot of plugin as well. So a lot of tools or frameworks that really helps you to do that. So one of the thing that really helps you, now there is some sort of framework called serverless. Between, if you have guys any question, just ask me. Yeah, let's see if anyone is there. I want to see if I'm the only one who's speaking up right there. Okay, only one viewer. No problem. So, okay, where was I? So I was just telling like, hey, so after all getting through, I came up with this framework and serverless that all these things. So I'm really now right now started to get a gist regarding like, hey, how this really works. So after really getting acquainted with serverless, cloud formation, or like let's say Cloudia, I really started to get a gist about in the merge stack as well. Everything is kept close tight as well. So the routes, the networking modules is kind of really close. Whereas in the case of in the case of serverless thing, everything is abstracted out from you. You just kind of work on the logic. You don't focus on the APIs and some other things as well. And that is really good thing. But I'm still not really like satisfied over here what I really want to do with it. And so once I really started to just kind of know about it, it really becomes so much easier if you really use this framework about what I'm talking about. Yeah. So so for now, the problem is really like I'm not currently an expert in it. I terribly suck all this in AWS thing, but I really hope that one of the thing I'm really started to get a quite gist of it. Uh, let's say like around like hmm. But now I'm really starting to get complete gist like, hey, so earlier it was really like I don't understand anything. Where is the API gateway? Where is the Express API? How can I really deploy it? Like, and now the real challenge is to fit a mindset and create a mindset like about a serverless thing, and that is really challenging out there. To which I will definitely make a video. I know this live stream is kind of suck. Like compared to every gaming live stream, the this tech live stream or the webinar without any proper presentation kind of sucks as well. And I admit that in the future as well, I will get more prepared and really just kind of focus on much to it. So what are my plans right now? So my plan currently is really like to learn all these things. So first of all, I'm really confused about from what framework should I use? Should I use Terraform? Should I use this serverless? So fortunately, yesterday, Free Code Camp really launched a video on Terraform itself, and I thought like, hey, it's a pretty cool tool. Like you just set up the credentials, you just apply a bunch of command, and you host an instance above the cloud. So instead of really manually inputting out right there, so I will really make a video on what this template really means, what this cloud formation really is, and pretty much all that kind of stuff that is really required to excel in the serverless thing, so excel in the serverless world. And so what my current plan is, what I was telling, right? Hey, I want to just kind of clear the confusion, what essentially, which is the best framework for my purpose as well. And then, for example, I'm quite not really aware of how to use the Lambda and the DynamoDB or plus the Cognito as well, the Trio Saga to make a perfect thing. And I earlier thought that, I would really learn everything in just 1 or 2 months, but it's taking a hell lot of time, to which I should really slack less and do more work. Uh, and yeah, pretty much regarding that was the thing that I would really like to say. And so after doing all that thing, I would really like to pump up more videos on my YouTube channel. It will be really hard. Like I'm trying to make my video quality much more better. That it will really help right there. And in future, in let's say in coming around 3 or 4 months later, if I really finish my project, I would definitely love to launch my own serverless course. Uh, it would really give you like it would be the one of the best course around there, like you have ever taken, if you have ever taken around. So it would really also financially support me for my startup as well. So that was what I really wanted to say. I know this was a kind of a mess, but there's a lot of challenges which I need to solve. So currently, what I said, that I suck at serverless, I don't really kind of understand what it is, and I know I just touched the bare surface regarding it. In the upcoming tutorial, you will really see the differences between posting of my video. I will really compare the MERN stack, the Express APIs versus the Lambda as well. So till then, for that video, you'll just subscribe to the channel. Until then, I will really see you next time. Till then, stay connected, stay subscribed, and I see you next time. Let me just close this.